another episode of the Mortgage Mike Speaks podcast.
Yes.
We are here with a good friend of ours, Jesse Soto.
How's it going?
Yeah, Jesse, thanks for joining us, man.
Applause there.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, fans. Y'all can bring it on. Bring it on, guys.
Turn on the applause sign for him. But
I held up the sign. The applause sign was down.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know who we are, I am Mortgage Mike, and this is
my name is Stephan Salinas.
Yeah, my co-host across the way.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you're a new listener out there, what I want you to know is I'm the leader of the Mortgage Mike Group. And you know what we're known for here at the Mortgage Mike Group is putting fun back in funded.
Amen to that.
Do we have a response for that one?
Ooh.
Yeah, let's see if we get.
I'm just gonna use it.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use a gong.
Wow, look.
Yeah.
Blow my mind. It's so good. Really, what we do is we just like to have fun, right?
Yeah, we do.
And just really, what can we do to build authentic relationships in the real estate industry? Whether or not that's our real estate friends, our title friends, insurance, you name it. We all have a story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk to Jesse Soto today about his story.
Yeah. We can give a little background on Jesse.
A little bit of background on Jesse.
Yeah, just to know, who is Jesse?
Well, let's see. First off, Jesse, I know one thing. He's passionate about beer, or he was. I think maybe that's shifted.
Still, yeah.
Okay, is it? So Jesse and I have a little history because I used to have a show called Malting with Mortgage Mike. I had to quit that, by the way, because my liver couldn't take it.
Didn't agree with it.
It was a lot of fun. We'd go to craft breweries around town and interview, and Jesse was actually a guest host on one of those.
Oh wow!
A couple of years.
This is not beer.
This is not beer. This is coffee.
This is coffee.
You can see this.
Really good coffee.
Good coffee.
Too. I like it. That's good.
Steven,
It's got some bite. Yeah, we get it from local, supporting the Houston local coffee shops. You know,
it's so good.
It's good.
Yeah. Just you've been in title business too, and so I think you kind of you've had an interesting career, and I'll let you bring that up. You've been in title business for the last 12 years, right? And you're at Texas American Title right now in the Heights, and you've been there for 7.
Actually, my anniversary was yesterday.
Ah, congrats, man.
So a couple other great, awesome things too for Jesse. He's got 2 children at home. He just had his 2nd child.
Yep.
He's got 2 boys, right?
Boy and a girl.
Yeah. Boy and a girl. Okay, so did you get?
Just got the girl?
Okay, there you go.
Oh, man. That changes everything.
It sure does. Let me tell you. In such a great way. Such a great way.
Yeah.
So he also loves bourbon, and he's a travel enthusiast.
Big time.
So beer.
Where have you been recently?
Geez, recently.
That's unique.
Well, so my wife and I do a lot of national parks.
Oh, yeah. I'm about to go to National Park.
Really? Which one?
Zion.
I've been up. So if you go to Zion, go to Bryce Canyon too.
Bryce Canyon?
It's not that far away.
Okay, good to know.
Both are amazing. But actually,
cool.
My last trip was with my son. It was just a father-son trip, and we drove all the way to Marfa.
Yeah.
And we stayed there for about 4 days. I actually invested in the distillery out there. So we checked that out and just hung out there for a few days.
That's so good.
That's a good reason to go to Marfa.
That's cool. I think I remember you mentioning that, like getting into starting that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My good friend Morgan Weber. He's with our Agricole Hospitality, April Flint, Cultivari, those. He came to me and said, "Hey, I have an investment opportunity." So I jumped on it and brought in a few of my buddies too.
Very good.
Yeah.
Jesse's kind of a serial entrepreneur. That's what I think I know about. That's if I had to go say.
That's cool.
What is Jesse? Because give us a little bit of your background. Like maybe
that's cool.
Take us back pre-title because you have a pretty colorful history. Kind of just talk to us about that. Bring us up to. Yeah.
Okay.
What's that story?
So born and raised out in Splendora, Texas, out in the sticks, 59 North.
That was the sticks, not anymore.
No, not at all. Not at all. And shout out to the Wildcats. And so went there. When I graduated, I actually wanted to get into politics.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
Okay.
And I ran for school board when I was 18, 19, and I got it. Ran against 4 different people.
You just got out of school. And now he's on the school board.
I happen to actually be the youngest school board member in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
For a good time. And
very fresh.
And the more and more I got into politics, the more and more I hated it. So I got out of that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I had a small business where we had a grocery delivery company for folks downtown Houston.
Wow.
Ended up selling that. and doing a few other things. Dealt with children with autism and Asperger's.
Oh, wow.
Did that for a few years. And then I actually didn't know what I wanted to do. Started a clothing line with my good friend Shannon Parker called Brewheart Apparel. And we did all the apparel for the craft brewery scene here in Houston.
Cool.
Did that for a while, sold my share there. And then talked to a friend who happened to be a headhunter, and he found a job at Stewart Title for me.
Yeah.
And I did that. Tried quitting a few times. They kept promoting me. So I finally cut the cord and went to Texas American Title.
Yeah.
Stacy Keithy, who happens to be my boss and an amazing woman, pried me away, and I've been there ever since. I've done a few like side gigs here and there. I had a bar, Taps on Washington, for a little bit.
Wow.
I have a bounce house company. Me and one of my buddies decided to buy a big 13 by 13 bounce house.
What?
Told our wives that we can rent it. We mainly bought it for our kids, so have for birthday parties.
Yeah.
But just happenstance, it ends up getting rented, I think, every single weekend.
Wow.
So it's been, I think, paid for like 3-4 times over.
Wow.
And now realtors are starting to rent it from me for open houses.
Right.
Just because the lines are so long.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And then recently I started getting into a little bit of beekeeping. We had bees on my buddy's roof, the same guy
This is amazing.
That has the bounce house. So we call ourselves bouncing bees because we have the bees in the bounce house. Winter wasn't so good for the bees, so they're getting moved to Splendora, sadly. And then I just started a online LLC formation company with a good friend of mine who happened to actually close at my office, and we just hit it off. And she happens to be a attorney and a business formation attorney. So she had this idea, and I said, "That's brilliant." Kind of like a LegalZoom online.
Yeah.
It's actually attorney backed.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a little side thing. But my love is title, and that's what I've been doing at Texas American at least for 7 years.
Man.
I absolutely love it.
Wow. What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
What are y'all up to? That is so cool.
Yeah.
What is it about like the next thing that kind of attracts you to it? Like what? Because obviously you're kind of always open to really unique things. What is it that makes you want to kind of get into them?
Bouncy houses, the bees.
Yeah, no, 100%.
The 3 Bs.
3 Bs, you gotta have it. Well, we got the bourbon in there. We can go 4.
Oh, the bourbon. Yeah.
It's like the Astros, like the
the killer bees.
The killer bees.
Yeah.
Old school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always open for an opportunity. That's the thing, especially if it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Or if it's fun. I think that, you know, to enjoy life, you have to enjoy work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I kind of go for. And I hate sleeping. You can ask my wife if I'm just sitting there. I can't watch TV. I'm always twiddling my thumbs.
Yeah.
So I always like to, you know, put my action and what I want to do into real life. So if I have an idea, you know, it's better to try it, fail, than just not do it at all.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's kind of,
it's a great way to live.
You know, and if it starts taking too much time, I drop it, because again, my main thing is title. That's the bill payer. That's the thing that I'm dealing with the most.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm always looking for the next opportunity, just to do, I guess, put in my portfolio.
Yeah. You said you hate sleeping. Is that what I heard? Okay,
Yeah.
I thought I heard that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I love sleeping.
I do too. I was sleeping.
I could take a nap right now.
I was loving that sleeping.
Yeah.
It was so good.
See, my wife loves her naps.
Oh yeah.
Before, you know, before the babies and stuff, loves her naps.
Yeah.
And me, I'm just one of those people that are always, what's going on? You can ask like my coworkers. You guys know Ashley really well. She, if I'm at the office and I'm, you know, have nothing to do, I just go in. Ashley, what are you working on? What's going on? What's happening?
What's up?
And so when COVID happened, when everyone had to work from home, my wife had to work from home. And so I wasn't at the office, and I just kept going in, just saying, Molly, what's going on? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you working on?
Yep.
And she was like, get out of the house.
Yeah.
I don't care if you can't go to the office, go. Just get out of the house.
Get out.
Just go. Just go.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, so when you look at, okay, so as you take this, again, this kind of serial entrepreneur mentality into title today, what is it like? What did you learn here that you're applying today in the work that you do?
Yeah, for sure. So what I see and my competitors and and even other title reps at Texas American, what I kind of see is it's all the same thing. It's happy hours classes. And you can just go on Facebook or Instagram and you'll see there's realtors, there's lenders at these events, and it look like legitimately the same event across the board. It's the same thing. So I just started doing different ways and putting my passions into other ways. For instance, like the bounce house, I have that. I saw something on Yahoo about in Florida, how there were 20 people lined up to see one house, and it was just went on sale the day before.
Sounds like Carmichael, right?
Yeah, right. And all I saw was these families with their kids and things. And I just thought, how cool would it be just to throw the bounce house up and let the kids
go?
Parents, it would not only be an amazing kind of in for the realtor saying, hey, look, I'm taking care of your kids while you look at the house. Because I mean, as a parent, you get stressed whenever you have a child with you. So I think that was just
don't touch anything.
midnight thoughts, because I do keep a notepad next to my bed. Whenever I have something, I write it down. So I wrote it down, and realtors take it left and right.
Man,
so a little bit of different, and also like with the bourbon, I saw a need for just kind of in this industry, there's a lot of women that are, realtors and things like that. There was a need for men to kind of come together and and talk and just kind of do that. So I started this thing called Gentlemen of Real Estate. And it was just a men's group. And we would just kind of hang out, talk, all that. And I started doing this whiskey and cigar event once a month. And it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I had 3 of my really good clients, realtors, that came up to me and they said, we're not men, we're women. We like cigars. We like to sip on a bourbon. Can we come? And so then that just kind of spiraled out of control with all these people coming. And I think at one point we had almost 80 people come to this cigar and whiskey.
Whoa.
You got to turn that down.
So
it's too big.
And with COVID, it was nice because it was starting to get pretty big. So I kind of, with COVID, it knocked it out. So I'm actually starting it back up on the 16th. So if you guys are available, come on.
All right.
That's cool, man.
So it's a good group, and the way it's networking, but it doesn't feel like networking. Because every time I got invited to a happy hour or a group to sponsor, at the very beginning, everyone has to hear your spiel. You start seeing those realtors' eyes just kind of roll back, like, oh my God, here we are trying to get sold again. Well, with this, I actually do it. I'm the only one that kind of sponsors. If anyone brings cigars, I let them put their cards on the table. And that's it. So when people are getting this card, and everyone's on their own tab, you can pay for whoever you want, but you're just getting the card and you're seeing it. So they actually, realtors and investors and everybody actually come to you saying, hey, thank you so much for this. They're not feeling sold. You get to actually meet people like you did when you were 5 years old in the playground. Naturally. Talking to people. And it's that's been really good. That was really good for my business before.
Cool, man.
I was doing that.
I like that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I think, what I hear in what what you said, do different, right? It's just being creative in the way that you build relationships with people, right? Anchoring into what you already like, and then using that as a springboard. And it's just an ingenious, like, you don't have to do anything other than do the things you love to do. And then figure out who else loves to do those things you love to do, and just do it with them. Yeah. You had mentioned the gentleman. Tell us a little bit about that. The Gentleman of Real Estate, was that? Because that almost sounds small group-ish, or like
it was
good. I'm glad to hear that. Tell us about that.
So I do something with my friends. We call it the Boss Quadrathlon, because his name's Nick Bossart. So we call it, and he started it. And what it is, it's a quadrathlon, but for golf, bowling, bags, and flip cup, flip cup. And so what we did was we just got a party bus, and just us guys, we played some golf, 9 holes of golf, and then we bowled, and then we played cornhole, and then we played flip cup.
Nice.
That's what it started off as. And then this group of guys, we just got kind of cliquey. So we just kind of hung out. We did happy hours together. We talked. We did a lot of fellowship. I mean, we just kind of all hung out, and we became this Gentleman of Real Estate, did steak nights. I mean, it was really fun. And then just, life kind of comes, I think, half of them had babies and then, marriage and all this other stuff. So it kind of got split up, but it's always been in the back of my mind. I still have a Facebook group. So
yeah,
that's great, man.
I bring back from the dead.
What was what was childhood like for you?
Childhood was awesome. One of the two biggest people that played a role in my life were my mom and dad, or are my mom and dad. Living out in the country was amazing because I could explore the woods. I could hang out. I was in Scouts, actually, Eagle Scouts. So that really kind of played a major role. So, camping, hiking, doing all that stuff. And then growing up, I have a brother and a sister, both younger. And my folks just gave me this amazing life. My mom worked for the airlines. We weren't rich in any way, but she worked for the airlines. So we had free tickets. So growing up, we flew to Paris, we flew to Europe, we flew Canada, Cancun, all these places. Like we were, but they just wanted to show me the rest of the world. So living in this tiny town of Splendora where no one's even left, the state, I had been around the world and been able to see these things. And so my folks could give me that opportunity to see what else is out there. And that played a major role in my life. And my mom actually quit her job, went back to school, got her master's, and became a high school counselor. And with all that, having 3 children, doing all that, she ended up getting a magna or summa cum laude and all that other stuff. She just crushed. And my dad was the only provider at that time, so he kind of had to never came to my basketball games. He never came to anything because he was working. At the time I was upset. Now looking back, he just had to do what was right for the family. And my mom this was ingrained, this story she told me, that one of her actual professors kind of came up, and I think it was a psychology class, kind of said, there's 100 of you in this class. Only 3 of you are going to get an A, and none of you will be women. And so I remember her staying up till like 1 a.m., as a kid, just watching her study and work. And at the end, she ended up getting an A. So that story kind of stuck with me. Just kind of, how to work hard. Both my folks' parents are just the hardest workers I've ever met. So it's kind of
they said that example. Yeah. That's great. That's really cool. I mean, I know you don't even think about, and I'm starting to even think about it myself, just like the sacrifices that my family went through and like their family, and just the generation to generation, just you can kind of pave the way for your kids now. That's so cool. Love that story.
So was there, like, as you think about, is there a time where maybe you ever felt like giving up in any of your endeavors? Like, tell us, was there a place where was the place in your life that was kind of
like hit a wall?
You had to push through.
Mike, I think we all feel like we want to quit every day. I think if you're not doing your job right, then you because especially us, right, in our kind of line of work, I feel like as soon as you wake up, you get 100% of your energy for the day. That's what you get. And you can either keep it or you can give it away. And I feel that in what I do every day, if I'm not at home and I have to have that much energy to put my kid down, love my wife and do all that. If I come home with a ton of energy, I didn't do my job right. So realtors, what they have to do all day is give their energy away to their clients. It's my job to give my energy away to those realtors so they can do their job. So I want to come home as tired as I can be. But when it comes to quitting, I think it was last year, the year before, I actually lost my entire office. So I was not only the marketing rep, I was also the manager. I also was the only escrow officer at an office that was probably 70 contracts a month. And I was doing all that. And I had 1 assistant and 2 floaters. And they were trying, and we were one of the top offices in our entire company. And we were the smallest, but we were one of the top producing. And So I remember it was the only time I've ever cried at work. I pulled over one day and I called my boss and I tried quitting, I think 3 times. I think she tells people 5, but I tried quitting and she just told me no. She said, no. She said, breathe a little bit and then go into the office. And I'm not a crier, and that was the only time I've ever cried at work, ever.
Wow.
So that was really, really tough. And it really, it was crazy because after the fact, I had, realtors coming up that have worked with me forever since I started. And they told me, Jesse, I know it's just you. I don't think I can use you right now, but whenever, you get your people back and you can do it, I'll come back, I promise. And so it was kind of that crippling defeat where I've worked so hard. And then you just have some of your best friends tell you, I can't use you, which I totally understand. It's personal, totally different. And I did understand, but it felt like hard. Defeat. Coming home to my wife, just telling her day after day, I don't think I can do this anymore. But then the bright side, I did that for, I think it was 3 months maybe. And then I got a call from my boss saying, hey, Jesse, guess what? We just hired this girl, Claire Medlock, who was actually an assistant at my office 3 years before. And I've always tried getting her back. Always. And she said, we just hired her for the manager of the office. And I was like, perfect for the escrow manager. I said, amazing. This just, all my prayers have been answered. But her very first day happened to be the day after the bad freeze last year. So talk about.
That's a hard, oh my gosh.
Horrible.
I remember that.
We had 3 builder accounts that were closing that day. It was just so bad. And then about a month after, we got another escrow officer, Ashley Zintak, who's been in the industry for a minute. And I think she completely changed my entire world. Just with everything. Because talk about an escrow officer that actually wants to go and market with you. And she's hungry, which it's amazing.
She's great.
Have completely changed my entire way of thinking when it comes to work too.
So
that's great.
Let's go back because I want to dig a little harder.
Of course.
Because what happened in the midst, I've been at those moments where I'm like, I don't know if I can take this anymore. Where did you go? What did you draw upon?
I drew a lot upon faith and family. Those were the 2 things that really kind of drew upon it. I really reached out to my friends. It just every day coming home, just defeated. The one good thing in life was my son. He, no matter how bad of a day I had, no matter how bad I got yelled at, how late it was, coming home, just seeing that smile on his face, I knew I was the only person in the world, for him. I could have gotten yelled at, cussed out here under the sun. But coming home to him, running to me, that just changed.
Awesome.
It was a great day. So
you just forget everything that happened.
You do. And, I think I had 2 ulcers through that time. Just being so stressed out. But,
wow.
It really, and as I was getting yelled at sometimes, all I could think about was Teddy. Just knowing that I'd be able to go home to that. And that really kind of changed my entire kind of thought process on anything. So it's I know, and a lot of times some of the stuff, especially y'all as lenders, half the stuff, it's not your fault.
It just happens.
There's a lot of money on the line. Selling.
There's a lot of parts.
There is.
Yes.
You just have to take it on the chin and just kind of
just like, hey, it's all right. Man.
So what did if you had to do it all over, after looking back now, right? Is it? I always say that's a really hard time. You had a good thing running.
Kind of gets stripped out from under you.
From underneath you. And then you've got to go through the hard times and to get through the other side. Like if you had to do that part all over again, what would you tell yourself? Like looking at it now, what would you do differently?
I don't think I'd do anything differently, to be honest, because the way I went through it and sludged through the mud, seeing that and how that was and remembering that because it's ingrained in my mind. I love today that much more. I don't think, I'm never going to be too happy and too fat
Yeah.
Because I know what could happen.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to enjoy my day today as it is.
Yeah.
Because it could be that.
Yeah.
And,
being like content.
Yeah.
With what you've got.
Yeah. And then, and always wanting for more, because I'm always wanting more. Getting those text messages from realtors saying, hey, Jesse, I had a fantastic closing. This was awesome. I am bringing you all my business, stuff like that. That is just, and I appreciate that even more now than I did then, because I know what I had, what we had to do.
Yeah.
Because after going through that, going to realtors saying, hey, I've now got a team behind me. We're crushing it. We're amazing. Please come back. Like on your knees begging.
Yeah.
That took a lot of just my self-esteem got crushed. Everything got crushed. Having to go back and ask for that business. But I had already made those relationships before. They were okay, fine. Well, yeah, we'll give you another chance. And then them coming back and then now getting all their business and bringing everybody that I had lost back has been just awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Yeah. I mean, it's important just because, like those things can just happen. You never know when they're going to happen, but you got to surround yourself with people that are like, going to kind of go through it with you.
Yeah. And I mean, it's, you've got to find your battle buddies kind of thing.
Seriously.
Talks a lot about that. And, at the Marines, they always say adapt and overcome. And that's kind of what we were having to do at those starts. And the biggest thing was I did not want to, put lipstick on a pig. I didn't want to tell them, oh, look, we can do this, this, this. I just was very honest and very blunt about it. Hey, look, we lost our entire office. We're not the best right now. Like, I mean, we can't handle what we have. And just kind of letting them know, and then knowing that you messed up, knowing what you did. It's that people will actually look higher at you when you say that than if you just kind of sugarcoat it and kind of walk around it. Because realtors are, I mean, they're business people. I mean, they're all business.
Yeah, it's true.
So as long as you tell them, I mean, they've had bad days. They understand. They've had bad files. So you just be honest. And I've learned they love that. I mean, people just in general,
be honest.
Just don't BS or, go around it. Just, let them know, truthful.
Yeah.
Be honest.
Be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's being transparent and being honest, it's a rare thing.
Yeah, for sure. It is.
Yeah, it is.
Because there's so much of our pride gets wrapped up in the midst of that, right? Like you don't want to admit that you've defeated or there's failure or something's not working because that's like, well, that's a direct reflection on me. But what is the reflection, right? Is the reflection that it's broken and I'm going to hide it, although it's plainly clear, or is the reflection, I don't have enough humility to just say, hey, we got some issues, we're working through them. And being honest about that part, right?
Yeah.
Let's build authentic relationships.
Yeah.
That's why people come back.
All relationships have that.
Yeah. You have
it's going to happen.
Right. You have to have that component to it.
Yeah.
So, or you don't really have a relationship.
No.
If the guys that left you and they didn't come back, then they really weren't relationships.
No,
yeah, there was no depth to that. The ones that came back, there's depth.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I want to have fun. The work I do. I want to enjoy the people I work with. I want to make sure that, the energy that we expend is a lot. And we want to make sure that when we expend that energy, we're spending it with the right people that reciprocate, right?
Yeah.
Because we can engage in relationships that draw all the energy out of us, and that's not good. It's counterproductive. What we want is reciprocal energy relationships, right? I put in, you receive, I receive, right? Like it just goes back and forth. And that's just like, we just want to retire together. That's what I just tell them.
Like that. Yeah.
I just want to retire with you. Like that's simple, right? So we're going to be here together a long time. And I'm committed.
Yeah.
I like that.
Cool. All right.
Awesome.
I think we're pretty good. I think we're reaching the limit of our time here.
Yeah, man.
I haven't even looked at the clock, but my guess is it's probably been 30 minutes.
And I think, Jesse, I appreciate you just opening up. I mean, I think your story speaks to a lot of us that are kind of going through that really hard time. Maybe people are in that time right now.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to go into it or they just came out of it. To just kind of look around and just be grateful for what you have.
For sure.
For
sure.
Thinking about your family, your kids that know, like that know you for who you are, care about you, and then, you know, think about your work,
Right.
realizing that it's a gift.
Yeah.
And that you can treat it as a gift or you can treat it as a burden.
Mhm.
And we said earlier, this is an anxiety-free zone.
Anxiety-free. Right.
If you're stressed, let's talk.
Yeah, let's figure out how to.
Why are you stressed?
Yeah.
Let's go to the root of it, and then let's solve it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and I will say, I have to, you know, put one in there for what the Lord does in our lives too, right?
Yeah.
It's without a focus on a relationship with Christ, it's kind of hard not to figure out how to do the rest of this, right?
So, it's hard, man.
That's such an important part, at least in my life.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
In regards to how do we deal with what's around us, in a way that is honoring, right?
Yeah.
Of everybody. So that's really cool. That's so good.
It is so
So,
good.
hey, you know, so we're going to close this out.
Okay.
So, but I want a couple of things. I keep hitting the table. I told myself not to do that last time because it gets so echoey. So if you like what you hear here, guys, we'd like to hear from you.
Yeah.
If it like stories, right? This is just telling the stories, our struggles, right? Sharing our struggles and our successes. And so, and if this resonated with you and you're like, oh my gosh, I struggled through that. And you want to be on this show and you want to share, we want to hear from you.
Comment. Comment below.
Email, text me. Get a hold of us.
Yeah.
Somehow we'd love to have you as a guest on the Mortgage Mike Speaks podcast. And I think that is it, Stephen.
Yep. So guys, we'll see you next time on the Mortgage Mike Speaks podcast. Share more stories that we can connect with.
Yeah, like, share, comment,
subscribe.
Get it out.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right.
Have a good one.
Thanks.